Is a ceasefire even possible? Well, tonight I spoke with a spokesperson from Hamas. He reiterated the group's demand for the complete withdrawal of Israeli troops. He also refused to discuss the whereabouts of the group's leader in Gaza, Yahya Sinwar. Here's the interview.
Until now, officially, we didn't receive any formal proposals from the mediators after the current meetings in Paris.
So President Biden saying overnight that a ceasefire deal could be imminently reached. What's your reaction and response to that?
I think it is a wishful thinking, maybe because of internal political affairs in the United States, to release some of the tension around the Democratic parties in the year of the election. But practically, this statement has nothing to do with the reality. Until now, we didn't receive any formal proposals. And I think there are still gaps between what we are calling for, what we are demanding, and what is proposed from the other parties.
Let's talk about those gaps. Just tell us, what are the actual gaps that you're talking about from both sides?
It was clear for us from the day one. We are calling for stopping the aggression against our people. We are calling for a ceasefire. And through the negotiations with the mediator, we have talked about few red lines which we cannot avoid or cross. First of all, a total, comprehensive, declared ceasefire. Second, total withdrawal of the Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip, and the return of our people who has been displaced from the north to the south, that they are able to return back to their homes freely.
Dr. Naim, the Israelis say that the demands of Hamas are delusional. In your view, can there be any sort of deal without a complete ceasefire and truce, an end to the fighting, as far as you're concerned?
I think to ask for a total lasting ceasefire to stop this aggression and to allow our people to return to their houses where they have been displaced forcefully along the last 5 months, are not delusional. This is basis of being able to bring the Gaza Strip life back to before October 7th. Because
in your view, is that possible, given what happened after October 7? When you look at the situation in Gaza today, 30,000 people dead, 100,000 in total are either injured, missing or dead as a result of this conflict. Do you bear responsibility for what has happened?
No, at all, because we are people under occupation for 75 years. We in Gaza Strip and the West Bank occupied for 57 years after 67. We are in Gaza for 17 years under a suffocating siege, which has Gaza converted into a biggest open-air prison. We have given the international community
but today, Dr. Naim, the actions of October 7 have resulted in the reoccupation of Gaza, essentially, effectively. And civilians, Palestinian civilians, have been killed as a result of October the 7th.
Okay, but maybe you don't know. I don't know if you're aware or not, but you don't know that between 2000 and 2023, that 20,000 Palestinians killed by the Israelis.
And now we have 30,000 Palestinians killed in the space of 4 months.
Let me continue. Thousands of Palestinians died because of the suffocating siege on Gaza, because of malnutrition, lacking of medicine. Therefore, you are, as if you are asking me either to accept dying by malnutrition and lacking of medicine, or to accept dying by a rocket.
There is a lot of anger, growing anger inside Gaza towards Hamas. There are people who have told Sky News, Palestinian civilians who have said, the leadership are either in tunnels protected from the bombardment while civilians are dying, or they are outside of the country.
This is not true.
It is true. You're speaking outside of the country. You're not in Gaza. The leadership is based in Qatar. Sinwar is in a tunnel.
Sorry, do you want to ask me and
Yes,
I have to
please
answer?
go ahead. But when you say it's not true...
Or do you want to talk to yourself? If you want to talk yourself, you can continue and can hear very, very politely. I have to have the chance to respond
Please
to your questions.
But when you say to me it's not true,
I left Gaza Strip.
you're speaking from outside the country.
Yes, I left Gaza Strip few days before October 7th for a meeting in Istanbul for a few days, and I have to return back. But my family, my children, my brothers, my sisters are there. 2 weeks ago, my mother, 3 of my nieces, 3 of my grandchildren was killed by the Israelis.
There's a lot of conversation about where the Hamas leadership are currently in Gaza. Do you know where they are? Are you in contact with them? And have they seen this proposal?
Most of our leadership are above the ground, operating most of our operations, social operation, other operations between the people, by the way, who are targeting the tanks.
Where is Yahya Sinwar? Where is Yahya Sinwar? The last image of him is on October 10 that the Israelis released inside
why should I answer you? Why should I answer your question? He is in the right place.
You're saying that the leadership. You're saying they're not hiding in tunnels. You're saying they're out over ground with the people driving the operations.
Yes, one of the leadership, we have the right to protect him. When today any rocket is launched towards Israel, you will find most of the leadership in bunkers, in tunnels, somewhere under the Kiryat in the middle of Tel Aviv, because this is the normal reaction of a leadership to be protected during a war. This is very, very simple. But at the same time, when it is feasible, most of our leadership, by the way, a lot of our political bureau has been killed during this attack. A lot of our members and cadres have been killed during this attack. Again, I should not present Yahya Sinwar in front of TVs to be attacked because of an interview with Sky News.
Is there regret, though, over what happened on October 7?
Sure not. Because we are reacting to our operation of 75 years. We are not willing. Look, we have given the international community 30 years after Oslo Agreement to reach a solution, an independent Palestinian state based on negotiations.
You, Hamas, released women and children from Gaza as part of the last hostage deal.
Okay.
If I can
You didn't give me
a military operation if you're taking civilians into the Gaza Strip from Israel? Can I just ask you this final question?
Do you
believe there will be a deal before Ramadan?
We hope that we are able to reach a deal, because we have asked for a ceasefire from day one. But again, there is not enough pressure on the Israelis, neither from the Americans nor from the international community, to abide to the international resolutions, to the ICG resolutions, to stop firing, to stop the aggression, and to allow all the humanitarian aid to enter Gaza Strip. But if they allow Netanyahu to continue this aggression and to maybe to broaden this conflict beyond the Palestinian borders, this is the responsibility of the Americans, who are supporting blindly Netanyahu, and this is also the responsibility of the international community. But we are willing to reach a ceasefire as soon as possible.
Dr. Naim, thank you for your time.